All right, team. One of the biggest questions I get, usually because of this Moneyball series, is how do you set the game up? How many leagues do you use? I'm going to show you right now. So let's say we're starting a new game, okay? So we're simple, start new game, career. Now the first thing to probably point out is the database that I'm using at the minute. Scroll on down here and you'll see there's only one ticked. Where's it at? There. That's the FM update. So that is the latest update from FM Inside, which gives you all the transfer changes. I'm waiting for a brand new one to do the next save on the channel. So all the recent transfers that have just gone, Grealish to Everton. So once that's in, we'll get a new video out. But that's the database I'm using. So choose your database, confirm, choose game mode. Now, when you get to this screen, this is the big thing. So we'll start and it'll give you that screen where you're going to select your leagues, right? Right, so mine at the minute defaults to this all the time. I don't know why. So it's got America, Argentina, Brazil, England, Germany, Spain. But we just want to do the optimal database for a save, maybe 5 seasons in length. And I'm only going to be in England. So we'll take up all these off. And I'm just going to leave the one country, England, okay? So let's leave it at League 2. Database size at the minute is 13,890. But if I want to do a Moneyball save and look all around the world for players, this is literally what you do. Go down to Advanced and you're going to add them in here manually. Now you can either do that, which I'll show you how to shortly, or you can simply load a custom setup in, which has been given to us by the legend of second yellow card, and that'll just give you it straight away. But if you're going to add them in manually, you want it to look like this. So continent-wise, Africa, Asia, North America, Europe, Oceania, South America. Then, on the tick boxes, you want to tick current international players, players from top division clubs, players from top clubs, players with continental reputation, players from clubs in continental competitions. Do that on every continent. You can see there we've got Africa, Asia, drop it down a bit, Europe, North America, and they've all got the same. Now, as an extra point, if you're doing a league that might be a bit out there, such as the one I just did with All Saints United FC in North America, I might add all of these in, like that, just to drill down on that area because some of the players are less well known. But other than that, if you're just doing a league, a normal league, say, that's the setup you want to do. But remember what I said, and I will include the link down below. I've got this locked in here thanks to second yellow card. There it is, optimized database setup, and I can just load that in and it'll be exactly the same as I've just showed you. There it is. Gives you an approximate player count of 108,000. Now this is the important part, the estimated game speed. Don't worry about that, because if you go to the video that I'll link in the video in the description, you'll see that Matt's done all sorts of testing. And basically this is as fast as you're going to get that amount of players involved. So the next thing you want to do as soon as you're able is to up that scouting range to world. Now if you're a lower league team, that's not going to be possible, and you still will get recommendations from players all around the world, but the sooner that you can get this up the better, because then you're just going to get an absolute flood of them. Then you can combine that with your scouts knowledge. Now Leeds scouting coverage wise, let's have a look. It says it's pretty good, but it's only exceptional there in UK and Western Europe. So for out there players like we find down in like Africa, Asia, random places like that, they've only got average knowledge. So if I was taking charge of Leeds now, I would probably ruthlessly go over here and sack some of these lot, probably most of the English lot, get them sacked, and then get in scouts who've got knowledge of all around the world. So advertise for a new scout. If you look at this now, so we go to someone like Dario Simic down here. Look, he's got extensive knowledge of Croatia, Italy, France, Bosnia and Herzegovina, and a few countries that we didn't have, but we want to get a bit more exotic than that. So this guy I've had before, Alain Roche, French, but if you look a bit closer at him, he's got very good knowledge of the Ivory Coast and Senegal. So we can use him to be our main African scout. So once you've got your scouts sorted, you can create the recruitment focuses. Any position from tactic, I'm using this random one at the minute. Now make it ongoing so you keep getting them results in. If you leave it as standard or top, you'll get a trickle of them, but then they'll abandon the search. So you keep it ongoing and then you select the exact scout that you want to go to that area. I've already got this guy who does also have decent knowledge of the Ivory Coast and Senegal, so I will send him there. So go back to it. Remember, transfer, ongoing, choose a scout. There he is, confirm. And this is where you go to the region. So areas, choose area. Now you can just pick those 2 countries that he is perfect at. But if he's got knowledge of those 2 countries, I usually just send him directly to Africa. You can either zone down, so wherever the Ivory Coast and Senegal are in Africa, or, and I do this most of the time to be honest, continent, bang, off you go to Africa, son, see what you bring back. Okay, I forwarded it maybe 2 weeks, something like that, and as you can see, I've set up different zones. So South America, North America, transfer is the Africa one, I forgot to rename it, Oceania and Asia. As time goes on, these will fill up, but for now, South America, you can see 31 in progress, so basically they've just started. But some of these players, have you heard of them? Jean Pinada, never heard of this dude, he plays for Águilas Doradas. So they're looking at the minute, they're whittling them down. They've got one outstanding recommendation already just after a couple of weeks. And interestingly, it's a 19-year-old from Uruguay who plays for River Plate. Augustin Vera, you can see his value is only 95 to 950. Very gettable. And he looks like a good player. So they've started to bring in the results already. And there's 28 in progress in Asia. And again, the players are coming from all over the place. So you want to leave it a little while so they can decide who will be the recommendations. And then these will load up. Now, the final little tip on what I do is once they've started throwing these recommendations in, great, but you don't have to go with them. I like to look at the teams. So they've got players here from a few teams that I've never even heard of, like Future, that's in Egypt, is it? Click on that and then you can go to their senior squad. And as you can see, their entire squad is loaded up thanks to this database. So I can have a look through this, see who's their outstanding player and potentially nick them. Same gig here, go to Cape Town City, there's the team, and let's have a little look at their squad. All loaded in, and we can find out if they've got any outstanding ones. So you can take it a step further. I'm having a look at these guys in Cape Town City, but what about clubs in their league? Right, Golden Arrows, same again, let's have a little look at their senior squad. Bang, it's full. You can find a ton of players, and they're all available now thanks to extracting that database. And you'll also find when you do this that your scouting centre, so you just where your players pop up, like the list of players, you get your cards there and your list, it comes into your email inbox as well. They'll be put onto here, so you can see I've got players from Santos Laguna, alongside the normal players like from Crystal Palace and stuff like that. Then randomly you get thrown a player from FC Juarez. So I hope that makes sense. That's how I use this database for the Moneyball style saves. It's not great for people who want to look at other leagues while they're playing. So say you're in La Liga and you want to have a check out of the Premier League in detail, you can't really look at it. So your other option is to load up a couple of leagues as well in full detail alongside the database. It will affect the processing time a bit, but if that doesn't bother you, that's probably the way to go.